Hello, I am printf, and today I'm going to be showing you another cannon rush video, this time on King Sejong Station and against Zerg. So I'm aware that King Sejong Station is no longer in the map pool, and that is in fact why I am showing it to you now. Because you might still be able to use it against a friend or in a tournament or something, and I don't want anybody to know about this on ladder, because that directly hurts me, and therefore I am waiting until after it's out of the map pool before releasing this video. So chances are you've seen a cannon rush on this map before. There are 4 common ways it's done. You could put a pylon here and then just build cannons along here and attempt to get something. This is generally bad. I don't recommend it. There's the more effective method, which is building a pylon here and then building a pylon somewhere around this area. It doesn't really matter where. Here is technically the best, but it's also furthest away. You could build it here. It's really irrelevant. And then pylon here, which makes a solid wall with this mineral patch to get a cannon up back here. Or you can even put the pylon here. It doesn't really matter. Or if you're a fan of Wiedemann's, you might have seen the build that he uses in every single map, which is this. 3 pylons at the top of the ramp, and then a cannon down here. Or finally, there's this one. Whoops. And then you build a cannon here, and you shut down the natural like that. I'm going to be showing you a way that is none of those. So my build, you get a pylon on the high ground here, and then if he pulls drones to come block you, you do this, and then regardless you come down here. I'm going to be building the cannon right here. Right there. If you did have to build these, you wait until they're about to finish, cancel them, build gateway, and build pylon. This creates a solid wall protecting this cannon with a gateway and a pylon. And because of this, he cannot block your placements. And by canceling them, you get the 150 minerals back that would otherwise be lost. Cancel this if possible. If he does not cancel his expansion, you can put the cannon here to shoot it, otherwise this cannon will not reach. But the cannon here will be able to shoot the expansion if he does not cancel it. If he does not cancel it, he's making a huge mistake and virtually guaranteeing the win for you. You will then place a couple cannons up here to secure high ground, get gas back home, and then do whatever you want to win. You can expand, go void rays, you can just pump out stalkers at his base, and go up to like proxy 3 gateways, get blank at some point. You can do virtually whatever you want to win because you're very far ahead. And this will secure you high ground. This means that you can be a lot more aggressive, and it's a lot harder for the Zerg to clean up your cannons. If he attempts to take out your cannons, that will be a very inefficient trade for him, and is throwing out more cannons and or building stuff out of his gateway will help you a lot. Speaking of which, this gateway, this is more than just a walling piece. You will not be cancelling this at any point. This allows you to get military presence at his base with zealots or stalkers, as well as accelerating your tech by allowing you to get a cybernetics core much earlier, because otherwise you would have to get the gateway back home and wait for that to finish, whereas here you already have it in construction at his base. So because you have proxied your gateway, you are more vulnerable to a proxy hatch, because you cannot build zealots and stuff at home. So to do that, to defend against this, you should have a wall off. I do not, because I was simply making a tutorial video and got lazy. But in an actual game, you should wall off. And you should put the pylon on this side, put the forge then here, because this allows you to place 3 cannons in range of the proxy hatch. You only need 2, but it's nice to always be able to place that 3rd just in case. This last one should reach. So if he places a proxy hatch here, place 2 cannons, and that shuts it down completely. And then you win the game because he wasted a bunch of money on the proxy hatch. If you place this hatchery in your main base, then you can pull a bunch of probes to shut that down, or you can get a cannon up if you have a pylon in range, or depending on when it happens, you can just wait and get out a mothership core and a defensive cannon around your mineral line. There are numerous ways to deal with a proxy hatch, and in general, proxy hatch is ineffectual. If he goes for a ninja base, then if you find it in time, you can certainly can rush it. You should be searching for it with your probes. If you do not find it in time, and it's already done, then you can either send a bunch of units built from this gateway to go kill it, or you can take advantage of the loss in money on his part and just assault his main, depending on exactly what is happening in game. So here is a fairly old replay of me against a Master Zerg, and this will demonstrate that, one, it is not possible for him to really stop it. Yeah, so I had already played this guy, so he knew this was coming, which also demonstrates I'm not relying exactly on the element of surprise. Although he does not know exactly how, because it was a different map. I believe that was merry-go-round. But he does know it's coming. I failed to get that third wall up, but it's fine because he doesn't block these placements regardless. Cancel this. I managed to get the gateway and the pylon up in time before his drones block me. So now he takes his drones to focus down this pylon and attempts to break in and destroy my cannon, while I attempt to keep my probe alive and not butcher my micro. Guess I'll open these. He takes down the low ground pylon and attempts to destroy the high ground. I get another pylon on the way just in case this falls, because I don't want my cannon to be on-powered. Place this pylon to do a little bit of walling. He does on-power the cannon and only loses one drone, but this pylon finishes, which restores power to my cannon. I am forced to let this pylon finish because he did not cancel his hatchery, and I needed to place cannons up here because I lost this pylon here. So I get a cannon up to destroy this hatchery, and I begin securing high ground. He has a spine crawler and a couple lings, but this cannon is guarded and will finish before his spine crawler, so I'm not all that concerned. I attempt to bait his lings into my cannons. He does not comply. I continue to bait, whatnot, irrelevant. I get my gas going at home. My gateway is done, so I get a cybernetics core. He manages to escape with the drone. I send my probe after it because I do not want him getting up a ninja. However, I do at some point butcher this because he manages to get the ninja up anyway, presumably with this drone, which I just didn't notice. He attempts to break out with a spine crawler, realizes that's not going to work, and decides to simply shut this down. Realizes that he has some indecision. Regardless, he attempts to shut down this cannon with his spine crawler, and gets another spine crawler on the way as well. He goes for gas eventually, which is fairly late. This should be quite a bit earlier. But I believe his spine should actually win this fight, which is unfortunate for me, but I have another cannon coming up here, so it's fine. I am now proxying stalkers. He sends his drone out to get a hatchery. This drone manages to evade my probe by morphing an extractor, which you can avoid actually by just queuing up multiple attack move commands. Whoops. But I did not do that this time, so he managed to escape with that. He has a ninja going up, which I do not know about. I stalker now, harass the spine crawler a little bit, without losing too much hull. If I can take this down, that's helpful, but I overextend, take damage on my stalker unnecessarily. He goes into roaches, which is a very common follow-up. I get a second proxy gateway, and I have warp gate on the way, as well as a gateway and a Twilight Council back home. The exact follow-up that I'm doing is not too relevant because it changes depending on what my opponent does, and there are a whole bunch of correct follow-ups you can do, which will all work. This is just one that I happened to be doing at the time. It's not even the one I'm doing at the moment, but it was still very highly effective. I'm harassing a little bit with these stalkers. He's throwing up a lot of spine crawlers. His ninja is almost done, and I still have no idea that it exists. So now, with Warp Gate just finishing, I can begin to apply some pressure. Although he has a lot of spine crawlers, and therefore I can't really break through it. He gets a spore crawler just in case of DTs, which is prudent, I suppose, considering that I do have a Twilight Council. He is finally kicking into roast production, and Blink is about a minute and a half away. I trade a stalker for a spine crawler, which is probably not the most efficient. And he's now saturating his expansion down here. Getting queen up for injects, and just generally continuing to turtle up here while attempting to amass an economy up here. Once Blink finishes, I can move in to attack him. Until then, spine crawlers are too powerful for me to engage. But Blink is done now, so I move in to attack. My Blink micro is decent, but not perfect, so I move some stalkers. And I realize I can't take that fight against so many spine crawlers. And I believe it's around here that I go looking for ninjas. He only has 6 drones with this natural, but I go down here, I see the creep, and I come shut this down. He sees my army out of position, so he decides to move in on my cannons with his brooches, his feudlings, and spines. However, cannons are very good, and spines take an entire 12 seconds to burrow. So with the stalkers I worked in, the cannons I already had, I managed to hang on long enough for these stalkers to return and shut him down. And at this point, the game is over. He is doing some light counter-aggression up here, of course, but I can warp in stalkers wherever I want, and so that's easy enough to deal with. He has another ninja here, but it doesn't really matter because he has no main base. And that's GG. So I hope that this has been helpful, and will allow you to win any games you play on King Sejong Station against Zerg. The exact follow-up, again, is up to you. I prefer the proxy stalkers, and eventually getting Blink. There are a bunch of responses to what the Zerg does that you have to know and stuff, and it gets somewhat complicated. You can also do an expansion into whatever you want, just be careful of Nidus. Basically, the Zerg is very far behind if the cannon comes up, and it is virtually guaranteed to come up because of the gateway pylon wall off. The gateway also allows for faster tech, and it allows you to apply some aggression to his base. So good luck, have fun.